Come closer, star dreamer, just for a while. Let the world below fall quiet. Look up. Can you see it? The stars are waiting. You don't need to understand them. You don't need to reach them. Just drift upward, through the stillness, past the clouds, past words. The sky holds more than light. It holds memory, possibility, the soft pull of mystery. That's where we're going. Tonight's story won't race ahead. It won't demand your focus. It's here to float with you. If this feels like the right place, subscribe if you like. Or just remember, whenever you want to drift again, the stars will be here, and so will we. Welcome. You have found a quiet place in a restless universe. Hush of eternity, where silence stretches like gossamer between galaxies, there lives a curious little traveler, older than stars, faster than thought, born not of breath or bone, but of motion itself. We call it light. It does not walk, it does not sail, it dances, always forward, always free. A photon, they say, is a particle, but also a wave. Not one, not the other, both, and neither. It is a paradox wrapped in shimmer, and yet, despite its mystery, it finds its way across oceans of time just to kiss your eyelids each morning, to bloom color from the air, to whisper the age of stars into the lenses of quiet telescopes. So imagine it now, not as something starl, but as a messenger wrapped in starlight. Maybe it begins in the heart of a star, not one we know by name, but one cradled deep in some distant constellation. There, within the furnace of fusion, a photon is born. It begins as a dream among atoms, forged where hydrogen becomes helium and fire becomes light. This newborn photon is small, not in size, for it has no width, no shape, no skin, but small in story. Still, it carries the heartbeat of its star mother, a thrum echoing like a memory. But it doesn't leave right away. In the dense belly of a star, light must struggle. It bounces again and again, like a thought between unsure minds, ricocheting endlessly through atoms and plasma. What takes you a blink may take our photon thousands, even millions of years. Not in speed, for it always moves at the universal limit, but in the journey, constantly interrupted, constantly delayed. It is a slow birth, not of time, but of escape. And then, at last, it slips free, past the trembling edge of its star, out into the ink-black sea of space. And here it soars. There are no more obstacles, no clouds, no walls, only the cathedral of the cosmos, wide open and waiting. It glides at nearly 300,000 kilometers per second, so swift you could ride it around Earth 7 times in a single breath. And yet, it feels no rush,
Light, despite its speed, does not age. In its own frame, the journey is instant. It leaves and it arrives. The in-between, that's for us to measure. Still, what a journey it takes. It might pass icy moons, their surfaces glinting like shattered mirrors. It might skim Saturn's rings, ribbons of dust spun from forgotten comets. It may cross entire galaxies, a million light years of silence, with only memory to keep it warm. It is alone, but never lonely, because light does not travel in silence. It paints as it moves. It leaves behind color, warmth, life. It is the breath of stars, the echo of everything that burns, the ink with which the universe writes its poems.
Somewhere along its voyage, someone might mistake light for a speck, a particle, a tiny spark, and they would be right. But if you look closely, if you squint through the lens of quantum curiosity, you'll see it ripple. A wave moving through nothing. No air, no string, no fabric, just motion. A whisper that carries itself like silk gliding through water without needing water at all. This is the wonder of light. It is both wave and particle, not either, not sometimes one and sometimes the other, but always both. A contradiction that doesn't break, but dazzles. We call it wave-particle duality, a strange name for a deeper truth, that reality doesn't always fit into tidy boxes, that some things shimmer, not because they are confused, but because they are whole. And to glimpse this, we turn to one of the gentlest riddles in physics, the double-slit experiment. Imagine this. Photons are sent, one by one, toward two narrow slits. You'd think they'd choose a path, left or right, A or B, but they don't. They ripple, they interfere, they create patterns, as if they are many, even when only one passes through. It's as if each photon, each quiet flicker, considers every possible path, and then chooses all of them. Light is not bound by our logic. It plays by deeper rules. But those rules are not chaos. They are ancient, and they are elegant.
There's one more thing, a strange and lovely truth. Even now, as you sit here, light is still arriving. From stars whose names you've never spoken, from galaxies spinning like forgotten lullabies, from the edge of the observable universe, light that has traveled more than 13 billion years. Ancient, fragile, still moving. It doesn't arrive to announce itself. It simply is. And perhaps in a cosmos this vast and quiet, that's enough. A photon doesn't carry memory. It doesn't know how long it's traveled. But we remember, we measure, we marvel. And somewhere between the looking and the wondering, we are illuminated. So the next time you see a shaft of sunlight, or the shimmering tail of a comet, or the twinkle of a distant star, know this: you are watching a traveler, a flicker of fire, a ripple of rhythm, a ghost of something impossibly small and impossibly grand. Light. It asks for no applause. It simply moves. And we, in quiet awe, move with it. Now, let us follow it further, deeper, past our skies, past our sun, past the spiral arms of our galaxy, into a place where light becomes something more than motion. Out here, beyond planets and starlight, light roams in solitude. Not alone, but unaccompanied. No air, no wind, only silence. A photon might drift for 1 billion years without brushing a single atom. And yet, it endures. Imagine it, a thread of pure intention stretched across the dark. No weight, no friction, just purpose. Quiet, steady purpose, like a vow not to fade. It reaches places we cannot go. It carries truths we cannot hold. And in its wake, it leaves the outlines of everything. Telescopes are not eyes, but they might as well be, for it is light that shows us the cosmos. We gather it in mirrors, shape it through glass, transform it into images and signals, a language of the stars. Galaxies, nebulae, pulsars spinning like cosmic lighthouses. A universe revealed not by what we touch, but by what silently arrives. Still, that's only part of the story, because light isn't only what we see, it's how we feel time. Time is different for light. A photon knows no before or after. From its point of view, there is no journey, no gap between departure and arrival. From the sun to your face, a photon travels 8 minutes. But for the photon, it's instantaneous. It leaves and arrives in the same breathless moment. It is timeless, and yet it defines how we mark time. Sunrise, season, the warmth of noon on your skin, each shaped by light's motion. The tilt of a shadow, the fall of twilight, the changing color of the sky, all scripted by this golden rhythm. Even our years are measured by its journey, Earth's long looping waltz around the sun. Photons shift angle, hue, and warmth like notes in a celestial melody. And when night falls, it is not absence you feel, but rest. A pause between notes, a silence where stars take the stage. They sing too, not in sound, but in flicker. A variable star pulses. A dying star erupts in supernova, casting out 1 billion photons in one incandescent sigh. Each photon a fingerprint of origin. This is called a spectrum. When we split light into its parts, through a prism, through glass, or through gravity itself, it reveals more than just a rainbow. It reveals truth. A star's speed, its age, its chemistry. Every element sings a different color. Each photon a folded letter from its home. And we are the readers.
Even now, there are scientists gazing through lenses, decoding the ancient language of photons. Each beam, a sentence. Each spectrum, a story. We listen to the cosmos, not with ears, but with patience. With wonder, with reverence for the gentle way light carries its truths. But sometimes light bends, not out of mischief, but in response. When it passes near something massive, a planet, a star, a galaxy, space itself curves, and light, always obedient, follows. This is called gravitational lensing, a phenomenon where gravity acts as a magnifying glass, bending the path of light and showing us things we would otherwise never see. Galaxies behind galaxies, a celestial echo, light winding around invisible giants. Even black holes, which let no light escape, still play with it. Around their edges, light is caught. It whips, it twists, it orbits the void, forming glowing halos, outlines of absence. We cannot see the black hole itself, but we see the shape it gives to light. And in doing so, we see the unseen. Because light reveals what darkness hides. In that way, it is a gentle trickster, a painter of illusions. It can bend around heat, creating shimmering mirages in the desert. It can scatter through mist, casting rainbows and falling rain. Even the colors we see are not what we think. A red apple does not emit red light. It absorbs every other color and reflects only red. What you see is what the apple refuses to keep. Everything you've ever seen is reflection, rejection, an echo. And yet, in that refusal, beauty is born. Sunsets bloom because blue light scatters, leaving behind reds and oranges to sweep across the sky. The sky is blue because those short, lively blue wavelengths bounce more than slow, lazy reds. Even shadows are not truly black. They are filled with ambient light, softened, shaped by everything around them. There is always light hiding in the seams, always something being revealed, even in the dimmest corners of the world. And if we step further still into realms beyond the visible, light remains. Radio waves, vast and gentle, wash over us like tides. Microwaves spinning the molecules in your tea. Infrared glowing from your hands. Ultraviolet etched into sunlight, both giving life and causing burn. X-rays slipping through skin to show us the bones beneath. Gamma rays roaring from collapsing stars. All of it is light. Different frequencies, different masks, different voices, but always the same messenger. Always the photon. It may stretch, compress, linger, or pierce, but it is always the same humble traveler. And sometimes, that traveler goes unseen. There are photons, born, but never noticed. They drift through the void, untouched, unclaimed, unreceived. And still, they matter. For even unseen light paints the shape of space. Even unnoticed, it warms, it echoes. Photons don't ask to be seen. They simply are. And by being, they connect. They bridge the gaps. They remind us that nothing is ever truly apart. It's strange how much of everything we know depends on something so small. Photons have no mass. They carry no charge. And yet they carry energy. They carry information. They carry us. Without them, there would be no sight, no color, no weather, no stars, no warmth, no life. They are the universe's most generous messengers. First to leave a star, last to touch your cheek on a winter morning. And they ask for nothing, not even to be seen. They move without trail, without sound, without ego. And so we move with them, guided not by light itself, but by what it reveals. The shape of a nebula, the curve of a planet, the glint in someone's eye, the horizon glowing before dawn. To see light is to see connection, to see time itself unfolding in color and rhythm. And sometimes we're watching ghosts. Some stars you see in the night sky, they're already gone. And yet, we still see their light, still make wishes on their glimmers. Because even when the source is gone, the light continues. That is perhaps the gentlest miracle. The universe is full of motion, and yet feels still. Light moves at unimaginable speed, yet arrives like a whisper. And in all its power, it remains soft, like a hush in the cathedral of the cosmos.
And now, as we near the edge of this tale, or perhaps only its middle, there is one last truth hovering like dust in a beam of morning sun. Light is not just something we see, it is something we carry. Every time you step into the sun, every time you open your eyes, every time you light a candle or recall a face, a feeling, a flicker of memory, you are carrying light forward. The journey of the photon continues through you, through me, through the space between. It glides silently through time, never breaking, never stopping, always becoming. Let us drift gently now toward the soft close of this story. Not with an ending, light does not end, but with a folding inward, like the last golden breath of a setting sun, a sun that does not vanish, but simply sinks low enough to become memory. By now you know this traveler well, this thread, this luminous whisper. You followed it from the womb of stars, through the bending of time, through dewdrops and double slits, through ancient echoes and unfolding skies. You've heard it in the hush of ancient photons, arriving from a time before Earth, before memory, before silence even had a name. And still, it moves. Even as we pause, it rushes onward, from street lamps, from screens, from the silver shimmer of moonlight in a bedroom window.
Light is always in motion, but never in haste. It crosses billions of years without urgency. It slides across skin without weight. It warms, it reveals, it sings without sound. And perhaps that's why we trust it. Why even a single candle can make a room feel less alone. Why we follow it instinctively, whether it's the blaze of a sunrise or the pulse of a firefly. Because it's not just a thing, it's a presence, a reassurance. Even at the furthest edges of what we can see, in the lonely, expanding dark, light is still there, still moving, still arriving, still carrying the echoes of everything that ever shone. Even in the dark, we are never untouched by it. And so, the photon, that small, impossible flicker, becomes something greater than itself. Not because it is powerful, not because it is loud, but because it touches everything. A single photon, born in the core of a distant star, may travel across nothingness just to kiss the back of a telescope's mirror. It may strike a leaf and spark the first step in the dance of life. It may bounce from a distant planet into a poet's eye and inspire a verse. It may warm a stone on Mars. It may catch in your eyelashes on a sleepy afternoon. It is not alive. It has no mind, and yet it connects all minds. It has been here since the beginning, since the first light broke the silence and space itself began to breathe. And it will be here still, long after the last stars fade, long after galaxies go dim, a final flicker sliding across the void, not to be seen, but to be. That is light's nature, not just to shine, but to travel, to endure, to arrive. And maybe, just maybe, we are not here to stay either. We are here to move, to reflect, to glow, to become something greater than ourselves through the warmth we leave behind. So next time you step into the day, or look up into the velvet sky, and find even the faintest flicker, know this: you are watching a story that crossed eternity just to reach you. You are part of its path now. You are made of the very same light. And in that quiet knowing is perhaps the most beautiful truth of all, that in this vast, expanding dark, we are never far from light, never far from wonder, never far from the next brilliant beginning. Dream slow, drift far. You are starlight, still in motion.
If this resonated with you, consider subscribing to join us on more gentle journeys through space and thought. There's a universe of stories waiting, and you're always welcome here.